Well, welcome to day 8 of our 11 days, our Angel Telesummit. This is lovingly dedicated to Archangel Michael to help us find our life purpose and the courage to make life changes. Hello, my name is Cecily MacArthur. Those you don't know me, I'm a dream life coach, and I'm here with my co-creator and good friend, Lori Raymond, who is the founder of Women as Visionaries. And we are both very thrilled to have you join us from around the world for these divine conversations meant to open your hearts and inspire actions and to change into the lives that we were divinely meant to live. So we're going to start with some short housekeeping this afternoon, and we've committed to keeping it to an hour, but we know when we work with the angels could be a possibility of change there. You're all going to be muted if you haven't been on the call before, so you're going to be muted throughout the call, but you will have an opportunity to ask questions at the end, to raise your hands, and we'll explain that when we get there. I also want to just remind you at this point, if you haven't registered and you're just calling in, we are doing extra things with the people who are registered, so you're getting extra emails. And Lori and I just talked about some cool things we're going to do after the end here. We're going to send out some extra treats to people. So please get registered if you haven't done so. And you can do that on the angel-summit.com website. And, of course, at any time, if you want to get all 11 hours of the interviews plus some wonderful bonus gifts, you can sign up for our very important Angel Upgrade Package. So we talked about it, and we said, you guys know who we are now, hopefully. So we're going to skip over introductions. It's on the website if you want to learn more about us. But we're going to talk a little bit just briefly about what the Angel Summit is and our intentions. So I'm going to turn it over to Lori to do that.
Okay. Well, thanks, Cecily. And again, why do an Angel Telesummit? And in discussion, both Cecily and I felt like with everything that's shifting in the world, we really wanted to support not only ourselves but others with some tools and strategies during this really challenging time. And when we talked about that, it was like, well, we need to go to the highest sources of wisdom, and that's, of course, the angels. And so here we are at day 8 of 11 with the Spring Angel Telesummit. So that really is at the core of why we have worked and co-created this for each of you who are here. And then finally, we always have set an intention for our phone calls and our daily calls like today. And our overall intention is, together with the angels, to facilitate this Angel Telesummit so that our 12 angel experts, like Anita, can help people around the world to access the angels, awaken to spirit, and allow for divine support and guidance. And so if you just would, just take a breath with that and allow that intention to be. And with that, it gives me great joy to introduce to everyone Anita Casalina, who is going to be sharing with us to build a home for your soul. Anita has, since she was a very young child, she's heard the voices of her angels and spirit guides. And over the years, the guides have brought forth many meditations and self-healing practices to assist her clients and for her to share. And she's been had an international practice, which is exciting, as a sacred channeler and intuitive healer since 1982. And she teaches self-healing, which I so love, light healing, intuitive training, and a very special form of spiritually focused EFT, or emotional freedom technique, to clients in workshops. She's based in San Francisco, but also Hawaii. And she's the founder of Terra Linda Healing Center there in Marin County, California. And so we are just delighted, Anita, to welcome you to the Spring Angel Telesummit.
Thank you so much. I was thinking about the work the two of you do. One of you is a dream coach, and the other one is a visionary. And there's something about that is so appealing, too, that you dreamed it and you envisioned it, and here it is.
And here it is. Here it is. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So just moving into our conversation with you, Anita, when did you first know and how that the angels were speaking to you? Because that question seems to come up often for people, like, how do I know it's the angels? And so what was that experience for you?
Well, like you said in the introduction, which I had told you, when I was really tiny, I would have voices outside of my own head and inside my head at the same time in a funny kind of way, combination. People who channel often say that it's in my head and outside of me too, and it's not my voice. And by tiny, I mean, 3 years old, giving me instructions, real simple, the kinds of things that a little child would want to hear, like if I lost a toy, where it might be, or if I was bored, they would tell me go outside, and the little boy next door is just about ready to go outside, and he'll play with you. And those kinds of things, really simple instructions, and they were always right. And I knew it wasn't my own thinking. And I believed in guardian angels. My mother had taught me about guardian angels, and my family believed in them, and that was something that it just all seemed to fit together, that those were God's messengers, and they were coming to help, and they were giving the kind of help that I needed right then. So I believed in it from the very beginning.
Mm.
And as I got older, now there's an adult answer to that question, which is when I am helping other people answer their questions, what I do is I continually eliminate my opinions before unless I'm really in deep trance and the words are just flying out of me. But if a client says, what about this or this, I really try to make certain that all of my human self is out of the way completely. And that just takes practice. These are the kinds of things that take practice. But that's my adult answer, and there's a lot more to the adult answer than that. But
well, sure. So who are the angels and guides that are communicating with you now? Who is on that team for Anita?
It's a big, big team, literally millions of spirits now, because I've been going out for the past 20 years into the universe seeking help that's very specific for specific issues, specific problems. For example, when just the most recent one I'm thinking of, when the nuclear reactor began to have those problems over in Japan, I did a meditation where I went out in my mind and in my intention into the universe through different galaxies. I've sort of studied some astronomy too, but it was like I didn't need to know that as much as just space and time or dimensions or something. But I called and I said, can you please, if you know anything about molecular chain reactions that give off a substance dangerous for the beings on a planet, can you come and help? And I found new guides that I'd never seen before, new angels I'd never seen before, and they showed up. They just showed up and they said, we know about that. It was a very strong feeling, and boom, they were on it immediately, working there in the nuclear reactor. So this has been going on for a long time. It used to be that I only had a kind of couple of them when I was in my 20s, let's say. I knew I had a little team of 3 or 4, but I just kept adding to it. And so I still have sort of a front line of close angels and then very, very big stream of beings. And including when I'm living on the Big Island of Hawaii, there's a very special group there who call themselves the Big Island Guardians, and they're a very, very different sort of group of beings. Very big, beautiful.
And so have these guides instructed or shared with you about why you have to bring their messages to the world, or why anybody who is here who's accessing, this angel energy, but, as to the why?
Yes, they have actually. They talk about that a lot, and the story that they tell is that the whole solar system and our planet lived in beautiful, spiritual, sacred light for tens of thousands of years as it was first being populated by beings who became human. And it was normal for everyone to know that the spirit world was just through a very thin veil. And then for whatever karmic reason, as part of the dharma, really, of the whole planet, to move through darkness. About 3,000 years ago, the solar system and this planet moved into a darker space where the spiritual energy was not able to be received in the same way. And there was a lot of learning that was to take place during that time. But now, as you know, the light is back. The opening is happening. It's happening very fast. And many of us who came to be in this lifetime, those of us who are, maybe baby boomers and the next generation and the next one and then our tiny children or whatever is going on, these generations that are here now have been healers before, have been high priests, high priestess beings in the ancient temples, and we are back now to be on the front line and really help, not just to bring messages, in my case anyway, not just to bring the messages, but to teach others how to receive their own higher wisdom and also how to heal themselves, because the blocks that we have to receiving are all earth-based. They are karmically based and earth-based. Otherwise there would be no block, and we'd all whoosh, that information would flow like a river to us. So, but it's a very, very important time on earth right now, and the more of us that can speak this language, the better.
How beautiful. And so help us understand, both for you but for us, in, what form are these messages? If we're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, as Esther and Jerry Hicks through the medium Abraham say, but what form do these messages come? How would we recognize this? And in that, it's like, how do we know it's this angel presence or our guides, as opposed to our own thoughts? I think that's a really profound question. So how could you help us discern that and know that, Anita?
Certainly. It's just a broad spectrum, I would say, of ways to receive information. There's so many ways. And for me, because I've heard the voices so long, it's vocal, but I also use my body as a pendulum sometimes to confirm what I'm hearing. So I body dowse. I've been teaching a lot of people to use pendulums for many years, because when you connect, so I would say the very first thing to do is connect to the highest source you can find, the highest light. The guides are always telling people, make certain you reach up as high as you can, because you don't want to reach out. That gets mixed up with human images and human information. But this idea of where do we begin and end, and where do the angels begin? That's the point, the balancing point, and everybody has something slightly different. And at some point there's also a kind of a merging because of co-creation. So sometimes I teach people who are having a hard time really getting messages to ask that their minds be led. And they pray and they ask their angels, please lead my mind, lead my own intelligence and my own intuition to the answer that I'm seeking. Because if I can't hear you or I can't feel you, then help me find it myself. Other clients of mine feel in their bodies. One of my clients, her legs tingle like crazy when she gets a message, or she'll ask a question and get an answer. And sometimes messages come through just knowing. You just know. You know how people for many centuries have said, I know in my gut. I just know it. It's a gut-level reaction. I know it inside me. Some people have that in their belly, in their own third chakra, identity chakra, sitting there in the center of themselves. They'll feel, whoa, that is right. Or you walk in a room, and I'm sure, Laura, you felt this before. You walk in and you just know, you know what, the energy in here is not so great. And that's a message your own body is giving you, because you're connected. You're connected to your own higher wisdom. One of my other clients, and she's more of a colleague because she's a therapist and she's in my healing circle that I've led for so long, hummingbirds come to her. Hummingbirds come and bring her messages all the time. And she'll tell me, she'll say, I was sitting in the backyard meditating and a hummingbird came up and sat right in front of my face, 2 inches away, and I knew that what I was feeling was right. So there's, like I say, a huge, big spectrum of ways to receive information.
And as you were speaking, the word for hummingbirds in Spanish means jeweled messenger from the gods.
Perfect.
So tell your friends that when a hummingbird appears in Peru, there is great to do and joy and whatever, because they truly feel that they are these jeweled messengers from the gods. So,
I believe it too. I've had
So go back to where you started for some folks who may or may not know. I know some, but you said that you use your body as a pendulum and you body douse. And so can you spell the word douse and just maybe expand a little bit more on that for some folks who may not, they understand tingles, they understand, a bird and things like that coming, but can you give some more definition on that?
I will. The spelling part's funny. I believe it's D-O-W-S-E, and I'm not the best speller in the world of dowsing. And it's like water witching. Flow through you, but also show your soul that you respect your home. You respect your home and you want it to feel at peace within you. And so you make the bed and you cut flowers. You have fresh flowers on the table. You open the windows and the breeze flows through. There's beautiful food on the table. These are all, of course, just metaphors for you, but there are so many things you can work with. Crystals are shining. There's a beautiful scent in the air. This is what we want you to do, is love yourself. This is the next phase. Love yourself. Step 3. Holding your hands on your own heart chakra, letting yourself begin to feel the love cycling into your own heart. And you can say to yourself out loud or silently, I love you. I love you. You have always been so good. I see this now, not just from this lifetime, but I see that forever, from the beginning, you have been this good. I love you. I love you is really all you need to do to prepare making the bed, preparing food, cut flowers, beautiful, wonderful scent. I love you says it all to your soul. And your soul makes its home and snuggles in for the long haul. That is the basic practice of creating a home for your soul. And from there, you can use this to draw in other things as well. But right now, we would say every person who has just done this has increased their vibrational frequency in magnitudes you cannot even imagine. So that you don't even have to do another thing and you'll draw something in that's better than when you first started the process. Higher vibration than when you first began this process. We are ready for any questions you have for us. We're not certain of time. We are even less linear than Anita's being today. So,
all right. You got me crying here. I got teared up on that one. That was beautiful. Coming home to I love you. Very beautiful, Anita. Thank you so much. We
are going to stay in trance and answer the questions for anyone who might have them too, Cecily. And
we can do that. We were going to talk about your things, but let's stay in trance and keep that going.
We'll stay in trance for a little while longer. Or Anita can come out. She'll come out for a moment. She's pushing us out of the way. We've worked with her long enough. Sometimes we do let her have her way. So here she comes.
Well, we were just going to talk about some of the things upcoming and how people can learn more and get in touch with Anita. Some of the things that she offers, and I know that she also has a workshop coming up. So
I have a few things. Yes, I'll talk about that. I have to tell you, though, Cecily, that they said to me that your vibration, when you came on the line right then, they said, well, look at her, because your vibration had increased exponentially.
Well, my vibration increased so much my computer stopped working. So it's rebooting right now, but I think it was like my energy. I touched the computer, it just went, all kinds of strange things happened to it. And,
I've seen it.
It's fine. So we'll get it back in a minute, and then we can answer questions. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's getting in touch with you? So thank you. That's great, because I was feeling that.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And the first thing, the thing that I'm the most excited about right now, because the guides have talked with me about how to reach as many people as possible, what I'm the most excited about is my new video, my DVD, which is called A Home for the Soul. And it has all of these practices. It has finding your light. It has a balance of love, which lets you place your hands on your heart. And once you've built your home, flow of attraction to bring more into your life. And then a very long segment on spiritually focused meridian tapping, or EFT. And then higher self work, how to do work with other people's higher selves to help foster better relationships with them, to really cut past the ego relationships and just go to their highest. And so I have that. It's just hot off the presses, which is why I'm excited. I've only had it for about a week or so, and I don't even have a PayPal button on my website yet, but if people email me, I can just ship it out to them. It's $9.95 plus tax is $14, and I'm just very happy with it. The guides are happy with it, so that's my most exciting. And then I'm going to be teaching a workshop in Baltimore on July 23rd and 24th. In June, I might do another teleseminar on spiritually focused meridian tapping. There's always a lot of requests for that, so we'll see if that comes through. But the workshop in Baltimore, it's also called A Home for the Soul, and I've been asked to do that. So anybody who listens is in Baltimore, just let me know. And then in September, I have another healing retreat, a Home for the Soul healing retreat on the Big Island of Hawaii, where I live part-time. And the last workshop retreat was just phenomenal. Miracle healings took place with the guides. I'm doing 3 days now. I do a Friday night, a Saturday, and then Sunday into the afternoon. And we have a little celebration, and then we swim with the dolphins on Monday. But
I want to be there.
Yeah, come, please. It's just so remarkable. I channel the whole time pretty much, and we work with EFT. We work with muscle testing. People communicate with their guides as much as they can, with their angels. The room fills with so many angels. They always make that joke, how many angels fit on the head of a pin? How many of us can fit in this room? and there were women there who couldn't move their shoulders and now have full range of motion. There were all kinds of miracles that took place. Chronic headache that hasn't come back since, and it's been 6 weeks. So it's really, really an intensive with the angels is what it could be called too. So that's what's coming up. And if anyone wants my website address, it's the letter AC at. Oh, excuse me, that's my email. But my email is AC at, and my name, AnitaCasalina.com, and AnitaCasalina.com is my website, and it's on your Telesummit website.
Yes.
So
great.
Anybody who wants more information, and I do a lot of private sessions by phone too, so feel free to call me up and we'll talk. The angels.
Excellent. All right, hang on. We're almost back in here.
Hey, that's so funny. Cecily, I've seen something.
I know. I just touched the computer. It just went woo.
I heard a little ding, ding, and I wondered what it was.
Oh, dear. All right, hold on. It's having a little issue.
Having its day.
Yes.
And that's another, I guess I'd like to put that out too then, is that the guides want me to travel as well and have these little home-based or small center-based workshops with people. And if anyone feels like hosting one or knows somebody who can, and we could put together a group of 8 to 10 or 15 people, I really love doing that because that spreads the joy, it spreads the light. Then people can teach their friends, and it just keeps the light spreading and the healing continuing. So if anyone is interested in having me come to their hometown and thinks that they can put a group together, just let me know. I would love to do that.
Oh, that's an excellent offer. Well, you know what? I'm having little challenges here. It doesn't want to come back. So I'm sorry for people who have questions for Anita, but I would just like to ask you, and they want to bring the guides back and talk a little bit about what they wanted to have messages for us around sort of what we're facing as humanity in this challenging time, so that we can get some perspective from them and some more joy from them would be great.
We are back, and we love that question. That's a question that comes up many, many times now because of the climate change and because of Mother Earth stretching and yawning and moving herself. So we will begin by reiterating what we said before, which is that your whole solar system has now moved into a place of greater light. And greater light means greater energy. And as the Earth adjusts to greater energy, she is shifting herself energetically. And that is what you are seeing so much, not just the climate change that is human-caused, but climate changes that are somewhat energetically changing too because of the energy. And as you know, the polarity is shifting on your planet too. And so these earthquakes and the other things, some of those are based upon the fact that as an entity, your mother is stretching and moving, breathing, releasing, letting go of the old energy that she has held on to for the past 3,000-something years and even before, because this is a new time. This is a time where humanity has gone from great, great light, which was all it had ever known, into darkness for 3,000-some years, and now back to the light with all of the body knowledge that came with the darkness. It has never been before. And so these are challenging times, and yet they are joyous times. Those of us who are watching from the universe are applauding because the planet is changing so beautifully, and humanity is moving too. Humanity is moving along with the planet, and more people are turning to the light and turning to spirit and saying, okay then, so what are the answers here? This is too strange. This has never happened before in my lifetime. What's going on here? So what we would say is it looks like so much upheaval, and it is. Well, it is like a giant aggravation, if you know what we mean, a global aggravation as the healing takes place, a healing crisis, if you will. So that things like the Arab Spring are taking place, even though they are being crushed at the same time they are uprising. Up until just very, very recently, that could not have taken place, but this energetic shift within your planetary environment is waking people up. And everything is, in fact, moving in the correct direction. Even the climate problems you are having, it's going to become untenable to turn one's back upon that. And even the most stalwart adherents to the belief that this is not true will finally have to give in. And it is true of what has taken place now in Japan. All over your nation now there are votes being cast to shut down nuclear plants. Even on right now it is happening at local levels. Shall we pass a referendum saying that we support the closing down of that plant because it's near an earthquake fault? So these crises bring forth great consciousness and humbles humanity, which some of humanity has needed humbling, and we're going to make a joke and say present company excluded, of course. But there are people around the planet who have been arrogant. Environmental arrogance needs to be eradicated, and Mother Earth is showing that. And there's going to be more and more unity among consciousness, too. We call it unity waves. You know, your population is so big now and growing. The Earth has never held so many beings. And that is because everyone wants to either come back or be here for the first time, streaming to the Earth and coming back, because this is the time. This is the turning point. These are the glory days, and this is the reward. So much is being learned. So much is known. And so many doors are opening. So you are applauded, all of you here on this planet are applauded for your courage, for ever having chosen this dimension in the first place, because it is not easy to do this. What you are asked to do, which is why we created this idea of a home for the soul, what you are asked to do in this dimension, on this planet, is live in a physical form and have matter all around you and not be taught, right now at any rate, to be in touch with spirits. Now it is this is the opening, and teleseminars like this are the opening. But think of how long it has been. And so we applaud any of you who chose to come to matter and reach to God from this place and know that there is spirit. All right.
Aho.
Laura, you want to wrap us up?
Well, I just invite everybody to please take a breath. And to say on behalf of Cecily and myself again, we thank each of you for being a special part of this Spring Angel Telesummit. And heartfelt thanks to you, Anita, and to your guides for this most
I'm back
sweet and special time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. This is, as they said, that's why they insisted. Those words came right through. Thank you for doing this. Very important.
And you are welcome. And with that, I invite everyone to join us tomorrow for day 9. It is Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. And tomorrow's angel presenter, who is Simone Peer. She is going to be sharing with us Live Your Godness Out Loud, with concepts around experiencing ourselves at our most pure, most profound presence of power, and giving us tools that we can use every day to sustain this ability to live our Godness out loud. And she's been working as a light worker, tarot reader, channeler. She calls herself a consciousness queen. I love that. For more than 2.5 decades. So again, join us tomorrow with Simone Peer. And again, to everyone here, thank you so much. Goodbye to all, and angel blessings to all of our human angels now listening in.
Blessings, everyone.
Thank you. Blessings.
Bye-bye.